So hello everyone, I hope all of you are doing well. Today we are going to do something very basic. In the first video I have told you about the websites or the web pages that you should be familiar with in order to deliver quality content to your students and upload good content on certain websites. So I'm Dr. Sandeep and I'd be starting off with the second part of the lecture, and today we are going to see that how you're basically going to create only one email ID and then you are going to use it in multiple platforms. Before we begin, you might already have a Gmail account because if you're using an Android phone, you might be using one Gmail account as well. Now that account is good enough to actually use, but anyhow, if some of you have never used an Android phone and you're using it for the first time and you need a Gmail account, these are the steps which you can definitely use. Okay, so basically when you start, what you do is you basically go to the Gmail website. Okay, so you can directly type that to the gmail.com. Okay, and if you are having a standard connection, the speed should not be a problem. So these are some of my accounts which are already listed, but I'm going to create a new account, so we'll be writing that use another account, and I'm going to go for create account. Okay, since I'm doing it for a personal use, so I'll be doing it only for myself. Please remember, from time to time you can slow down the video and see. Okay, so I'll just make an account in my name. So let me just make it down as Sandeep PC as my last name. I'll put the username, let me put it as Sandeep underscore PCH. Okay, if the username already exists, it will prompt you to make a new username, but then we can use it. Okay, so I can put a password here. Okay, and the password, please remember, two times you have to put, so you have to remember your password. Some of you do have this habit of not remembering the password, so we can always write it down and keep it safe somewhere. Okay, please remember you have basically used an 8 values and the 8 characters. It should be having some letter, some number, and symbols. For symbols we can actually use something like at the rate and so on. Okay, so I've kept this symbol on. So this username already exists. Okay, sorry, only letters, so I cannot use an underscore here, so let me just write down Sandeep PCH. Okay, and then let's try if that exists. Okay, so the username is already taken, so I can take a number of values. So you can see some suggestions are already made, but I'll just make my own suggestion and I will use Sandeep PCH 2020. So finally I am able to create my account. What happens here is basically I can give my email, my phone number. Okay, for account safety. Okay, and that is actually very important. But we can anyway we can put that down. Okay, this is basically optional, so even if you don't put it right now, it's okay, but later you can put it there. Okay, and when we'll use, and then there is a recovery email which is again optional. Okay, and then you basically need to put your date of birth. So I'll just put some random date of birth again, maybe 19th November, let's say 1990. Okay, put that, and then you can just put in more details there, and once you put all the details, you can just go for next. Okay, don't worry, some of these details can be changed later, and many of them are. Okay, and then there are some privacy options which are there. You can just go through that, but even if you don't go through, Google is a trustable website, so we can actually trust it. Okay, and then I just simply press I agree. Please follow the cursor which I am basically uh, using, and then putting it into a different location. Okay, basically I took I agree, and then depending on how fast your internet is, it will take some time for creating the account. Okay, by the time it creates an account, let me tell you that this account can be actually used for all the websites that I have told you, because yesterday I told you that today we are going to see only the web pages, use of the web pages, and one Google account can be used to access multiple options. Okay, so basically what is happening now is it's loading. Okay, and my email is already been created, and I will be loading my email. Okay, and let me open some additional tabs there. Okay, and if you go to your Google tab here, if you go basically to your Google tab. Okay, in any simple system, in any simple browser, I'm usually using Google Chrome. Google Chrome is actually better if you use Google Chrome for accessing all the Google products. So you see this has already been logged in at my account, so I can look here and then I can find out a lot of options. Okay, The yesterday what I said was whatever we are going to do are nothing but we are going to use YouTube. So I'm going to go to YouTube now. Okay, that's possible. Okay, and then if I open one more tab, okay, let me just show you what are the options that Google provides here. So if I go for Google tab, okay, and then what I can do is I can go to this and then I can see what are the products that Google is offering. Okay, so right now I'm going to use this. I'm going to use Google Drive. Okay, so if we can open it in a new tab, so I'll open Google Drive. Okay, in order to record or keep a track of what are the events that you are doing, basically you can also use Google Calendar, but right now let's not go into this. Okay, now you create some new documents, online documents and all that I will come in the next lecture, but right now one more important part is something which we call as the Google Classroom. Okay, so these are some of the options of Google family which you're going to see today. Okay, and let's go to this YouTube option. Okay, and let's keep this short. Okay, so what we do is we have our email ID ready now, and you can just do the setup, the basic setup which can be done initially. Okay, once the initial setup is done, we can see that since it's a new email ID, nothing has been created as such. Okay, and then let's go for further to YouTube. Okay, and I have opened a number of tabs together, so it will take some time. So next, how do we usually use Google Classroom? Okay. So basically what happens is Google Classroom is nothing but a virtual classroom, and this is the email ID I'm providing, so I'll just continue. And my role here will be basically as a teacher. Okay, so this is your Google Classroom, which is totally empty. Okay, so this is opened by using the same Gmail ID. Please remember, if you are logged out of Gmail and then you want to go to Google Classroom directly, then what you do is you can go to Google Classroom in your browser and then log in and use the same email ID. Okay, same email ID. Okay, so what you do is I'll just basically cross check all of these so that I can show it at a faster pace. Okay, so this is my email, so I'll just close this down and let's go for the classes now. Let me just give you a very brief about the Google Classroom, how to create a classroom. So this is basically something which is the first class for the virtual class, and this here is something which it shows that you can actually create or join your first class. Okay, so what I do is I'm a teacher, so what I'll do is I'll basically create a class. So if I go for creation of class, I'll go for create, and you can again read this and write down that I read and understood the above notice, and then you can go for the class. Okay, so since I'm physics teacher, so what I can do is I can actually give a name to the class. Suppose I'm teaching the MSc students or the BSc students, so I can obviously write down, let's say, MSc. Okay, and then let's say if you have got some kind of section there, okay, you can put in some sections. Okay, so let me just put the semester there maybe. Okay, so let me put as third semester. Okay, and subject, let's say you are taking some subject like classical mechanics. Okay, so I can create a topic on classical mechanics as a subject, and room it's not really applicable right now, so it's very basic, so I'll just do the creation. Okay, so this way I've created a classroom. That means what I'm doing is I basically constructed the room, or I have the room where I can take my class. Now once I have the room, I need to invite the students. Okay, so if you are new to it, they will provide some instructions, but anyway, since I'm telling this, you can obviously use this. Okay, so before we actually go how to invite the students and how to create lessons and so on, what I wanted to tell you is that when you go here, you basically see something which is called the class code. Okay, so if you just click here, this is your class code, this is my class code. So if any of your student has a Google account and he logs into Google Classroom and he wants to join a classroom, okay, what he can do is he can go here. Okay, he can go to this, he will see something like this. If this is not there, he can click here and he can write join class. Okay, in join class he basically has to enter the code. So which code he is going to enter is this. Okay, so if you go to this class, you basically have this code. This is the code that your student needs to enter. That is one way of joining the class. Okay, and the other way is, in case you know the email ID of your student, you can always collect it online. That can also be done online. I'll show it to you later. What I can do is I can go to people. Okay, and you can see that there is a teacher and there are students. Now right now I have not invited any students in the class. Okay, So what I can do is I can invite the student by giving them the class code, okay, or what I can do, I can directly input the email and they will get the invitation on their email ID, okay. So what I do is I can just simply type, let me just type down one of my email IDs, okay. This is the email ID of my YouTube channel, so it's this, and then I can just simply type it, okay, and then if I write it down I have this, okay, and then I can say invite. So once I send the invite to the students, what happens is it will show invited, and once the student joins it will be actually displayed, okay, in a brighter color. That means the student has accepted your invitation. You are the teacher and this is the student, okay. And then what happens is, in case you want to add more teachers into this, okay, what you can do is you can again type another email ID which is for a teacher. So what happens is a teacher can give lessons, so you and another teacher can collaborate, okay. So let me write down one more email ID here, okay. You can always contact me at this email ID if you have any doubts on this, okay. So that's also a way to give you the information regarding me. So you can have this, okay, and then what you do is basically invite. So these are the two teachers and this is the student, and once they join the class it's up and running. So you can invite as many students as you want, okay. And then what happens is when you go to this stream, here is something which you can provide your informations with, okay. So let's provide some informations. So what you can do is you can basically just write down information, and let's say hello students, let's say I will be providing mm, uh, you with a new lecture every week, okay. Let's say you want to just give out some kind of information, and you want to give this information to everyone, not for a specific student, okay. If you have the students joining, you will see a list of all the students, so you can select specific students who will only see your notice, or if you select all students, everyone is going to see your notice, okay. And then you can just post it, okay. So that is the way to do it, okay. And now suppose you have created some video. How to create the video, I'll definitely show it to you later. And then you want to post that video here. So what you can do is you can always go for ad, and then you can put up a link, or you can put up a YouTube link, okay. So what you can do is, let's say I have a YouTube link, so I'll go for YouTube link, okay. So suppose I know the URL, okay. So what I'll do is I can go to YouTube, okay, and then let's say I'll search for some lecture, okay, I want to provide to my students, okay. It's not mandatory that it should be your lecture. You might be having some additional information which you want to provide to the students. You can definitely do that, okay. So once you have any link with you, okay, what you can do is your students would be able to see the link here, okay, or see the video here, okay. So it's getting a bit delayed because it's a bit slow, okay. So once it's started, you've checked in, okay, then you can see that there is this channel. You can actually subscribe to this channel. This is my channel. I have some lectures here. So suppose I want to share this with my student, okay. What I do is I can go here, okay, and then I can open the lecture, okay. Any lecture you can check. If it might be your lecture, it might be someone else's lecture, okay. What I can do is I can just go for this option, okay, or I can go for the share option, okay. Once you go for a share option, you have this link, okay. You can just copy the link here, okay. Go to your classroom. In the URL section, you can put in the URL, okay, and then it's basically going to get resolved, and you are going to get this, and then you can put an add button here, okay. You can click the add button, okay, and then you can just type in here first lecture, okay, and then you can basically post it, and then you have it posted here. Then whenever your student comes to the classroom, is going to see that this lecture has been posted, and then you can go on with his lessons, okay? So this is a very basic of using Google Classroom and how exactly to use it. This is not the only task that you can do. Usually in Google Classroom, you can basically assign your students with a lot of things. For example, you want to give them a quiz, okay. So what you can do is you can go for create, and then you can go for quiz, okay. So this is one of the initial part. You can want to provide some books to your students. You can actually go for material, okay. So if you go for material, you can actually go for some book, okay. book one, let's say I'm providing a book here, and then you can put a description here, let's say classical mechanics. Okay, anyway, we are not putting up everything correctly here, but anyway, and then you can have some file which you want to upload. You can download the book in your desktop. You might be already having it. Okay, you can use it. Okay, what I can do is I can select book from my here. So what I can do is let's say, okay, let me not upload my electricity bill. Okay, so I have some books here. So I do have a book here. Okay, so let me just put something which is smaller in size so that it uploads very fast. So let's say this is the book I want to upload, or this is the content that I want to upload. I'll go and then I'll basically just upload this content. Okay, so once I upload this content, I don't really need to communicate to the students directly. I can just press post here. Okay, and then once I add post, I don't need to add any topic here. This is posted here in the material. Okay, if you go to stream, you will see that the recent activity is actually posted a new material, book one. Okay, so I posted this. My students can actually go to this, download the book, check the book, read the information. Everything is possible there. Okay, so this is exactly what we do in the classwork. You can also create some quizzes there. Okay, and how you create the quiz and attach it in a Google Classroom is something which I will do in the next lesson, when we actually talk about more about using the Google Drive and creating forms and so on. Okay, so this is your Google Classroom which you can use. Next, you can see that grades and all. Okay, now that's a different option altogether. Once you've created an assignment and your student has finished the assignment and submitted, you want to grade the students, how much mark they have scored, and then you can record it here. Okay, so you don't need to use any pen or paper. Everything you can get rid of, and you can see, you simply use Google Classroom to do everything. Okay, so next, let me just go back. Okay, and let me just go back and let's just tell you about a calendar. Okay, so what happens here is basically, if you want to add an event, suppose you want to take a quiz on 15th. Okay, so what you can do is you can go here. Okay, and then you can basically select it. Okay, this is today. Okay, so if I see all classes, I want to just check for MSc. Okay, then I can actually set up a different calendar altogether. Okay, this has not loaded completely, but anyway, I can go for this. Okay, okay, so this has not loaded, and I need to load it more. Okay, anyway, so calendar is something which is actually nothing but you can load all the events there. Okay, and then it becomes more simple. Okay, and then you can see from here, actually you can also access the Google products. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to talk about more about calendar later. If you, what you can do is you can go here. Okay, that is only for checking the calendar, what I've shown right now. And if you want to add an event to the calendar, you can actually go to classwork. Okay, and then you can go for Google Calendar. Okay, and then if you want to add, you can add the event. Okay, and then all these events are recorded in your email ID in your calendar. Okay, so what you can do is you can actually have a look at this. Okay, and then if you want to create, you can do is you can go for create. Okay, these are some instructions which are provided. If you are a new user, you can definitely see that. But anyway, I'm there to tell you about it. So what you can do is you can look into the calendar from month basis or week basis and so on. So okay, so what I'll do is I can basically go for a week basis or a month basis and check it out. Okay, so pardon me, internet is a bit slow, it's loading a bit late. Okay, so let's go for the month then. Okay, and then when you look into this, you see that this is basically the national holidays in India which has been created. It's already shown here. This also you can view. Now suppose I want to create an event for 5th. So what I will do is I will create this. I'll click on 15th. Okay, and then basically I'll go for create. So once I go for create, I will actually add a title. Suppose you want to take a quiz on Sunday, so let me put quiz 1. Okay, and then let me say I want to put it at let's say a time slot, let's say at 1 a.m. so that will be two Indian students won't get up at 1. Okay, let's do it at 4 p.m. right? So 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. you can actually have a test. Okay, and then you can add a guest. That means you can add the email ID of your student. Even if you don't add it, it's fine. Okay, it's already added in your list of events. Okay, and then you can save it. Okay, so that means that on 15th quiz 1 there is 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, and then you can go back to your classroom. Okay, or okay, this is the calendar. So calendar, the event is already created, and then you can basically go out to your calendar. And then what happens is not this, sorry, go for classes here. Go for classes. So what happens is here we have it, okay, and then you can basically take that Google link, calendar link, and put it here and in stream rather, and then the students will know that what time your quiz is and so on, okay. You can additionally inform the students, because in case your students are not very active in Google Classroom, you can definitely tell them through WhatsApp or some other media to actually access the Google Classroom, okay. But all the group of students will be here and accessing everything, giving their test online, graded online. It becomes a very simple task, okay. The last part of this lecture, I'd just like to talk about introductory, I'm sorry, not introductory cosmology, that's my lecture, how to upload videos, okay. We are not really going to look into how to make videos right now, okay. So let's say I want to upload video, okay. So what I'll do is I'll basically go here, okay, on the create option, okay. Once I go for the create option, please remember you have to be logged in, okay. I am logged in with the same email ID which I created just now, okay. Check this. So I'm logged in with the same email ID, okay. So once I have this, what I can do is I can go for create and go for upload video, okay. So once I upload video, okay, I'm not going to go for any tutorial here, okay. There is this additional feature in Google which is basically nothing but call, okay, you need to do this, okay. So choose how you want to create a channel. So what happens is, before you can actually create a video, you need to create a channel, okay. You need to create a channel, you need to create a name for the channel, okay. So let me just do the selection here, okay, and suppose I want to create a channel, okay. So let's say I want to say my physics lectures, okay? Something like this, okay. And then what I can do is I can go here and then I can go for create. Once I go for this, a channel is being created. So basically what you say is YouTube is nothing but a television, okay, and then you have all the channels there, okay. Which one is your channel? That means you have to create a channel, okay. So this is what I have done. We have actually created a channel which is nothing but my physics lectures, okay. Once this is done, okay, I can actually upload a picture here. I can go for a custom picture. I can actually create a logo and put it there to attract more audience. Else I can just simply go for the creation, okay, save and continue and so on. So what I can do is the add channel description, okay. So this we can just simply say this channel gives the physics lectures, okay, physics lectures, okay. Let's say we say this, okay. Once it's done, okay, then we can just go, we can do everything else later. If you have a website, you can add it, and let's say we don't have anything, so let's go for save and continue, okay. If you go for save and continue, this is more or less done, and then you are actually more or less ready with uploading videos. There is something which is called the YouTube Studio, which you will find very simply, okay. So this is something which is basically the YouTube Studio, okay, and then you can got this, okay. So this is your channel, nothing is being uploaded here. You can see home is empty, videos are empty, and then playlist is empty because you have not created anything about here, okay. In about section you'll be just finding this channel gives physics lecture. You can always modify this after going for edit channel, but what we'll do now is basically, let's say I want to upload a video. I'll go for here, go for this option, upload video, okay. Once I go for upload video, I can upload any video that I usually want, okay. So that please, you have to consider this fact that depending on your internet speed, the video that you upload should not be too large. If it's too large, that means you need a very good connection, okay. Because if you're using a mobile connection and you are using some kind of package like 1.5 GB or 3 GB per day, you can't afford to upload a video of 5 GB or 2 GB or 3 GB, right? So if you do these kind of on-screen recording, you can actually have a video within 500 MB or even 100 MB, okay. What you can do is you can drag and drop, or you can basically just go for select files and upload, okay. So if you go for select files and upload, what you'll see the options, okay. So I have got some kind of lecture here, so I have got a lecture here. Suppose I want to upload this, I'll just go for upload, okay, and then it usually gets uploaded, okay. It starts uploading, okay. So this video is uploading on this side, you can see. And what I will do here is basically just give a description about the video, okay. How to do the marketing, online marketing and all, this is something which is left for the later case, okay. This is a pro level thing, but let's not talk about that. If you want to create a playlist, you can have a playlist. By playlist we mean that we will have a video of similar nature included in a single bunch, okay. So that will be videos, and then it is not made for kids, so I'll just put not made for kids, okay, and then so on. So then the video starts getting uploaded, okay. So what I will do is I will not upload a video right now. but if you actually upload, you are going to look into other options as well. Okay, so let's just wait for some time. So by the time the video uploads, let me just go back to this classroom, and what I've done is I've taken an opportunity to actually add this okay, classwork. Okay, so if you look into this people, let's go back to this people that we've listed, and I have just accepted the request, and you see I have joined as a student now. So if you go back to this now, okay, you can see that as a student you can see it, and if you directly go to the main bottom class at the main page, you can see that there is only one student joined. That means I have joined there. Okay, okay, coming back to the video will get uploaded depending on how long your video is. Okay, and then it basically gets processed. Okay, so it takes some time for processing. Okay, by the time it processes, what you can do is we can actually put in some description. By description I mean that we can put in some ideas like let's say this is actually very important if you actually want to disseminate your lectures in a proper way. Okay, so this is a lecture on let's say I've uploaded it on power plants, so I'll just write down this is a lecture on power plants. Okay, and then actually I can go for next. Okay, and then when I go for next, you can see other video elements and all. These are some advanced option which let's not talk into it right now. Okay, so so you see this is a problem here. My process is abandoned because this video is too long. Enable how to enable videos. Okay, so basically what happens is some videos, if they are longer, you basically actually need to fill up some additional things. Okay, so what happens here is that you go to this, okay, and then you have to do some verification. So that means you have to update your phone number and so on. Okay, after everything is done, basically this video is updated. Okay, so let's not just go into this because it's going to take some time. But anyway, after your video is uploaded, you can see the listing here. See the list, it is already listed, but this is abandoned. Okay, but anyway we can do it later. And if you want to remove a video, you can definitely come here basically and go for edit. Okay, and then you can delete your video. Okay, so we can also delete our videos. Okay, that's also an option. Okay, but here it's not really delete. Sorry, this is basically talking about the other options that we usually have here. Okay, and then if you just go back on this side, you can see that there is an option on delete video. You can directly go for just understand why I'm deleting. Okay, delete the draft video because this is not yet published. Okay, if you have it published, you will have it here. You have a sharing link, and then you can go and share it in your classroom. Okay, so that's all for today. Okay, and then in the next class I'm going to introduce you to something which we call as the Google Drive, how exactly we can use it as an online pen drive as such. Okay, you don't really need to carry anything physical with you, but you can have your data every time always with you on the clouds. Okay, and then we can also I'll also show you how to create a Google form and put it in Google Classroom. Thank you.